Hello, all. I know it's been a little while. I had to work double yesterday, both my jobs, and yesterday was a crazy day. Yesterday was a very crazy day. And I'm still trying to process it, really, because it really was very eye-opening in reference to psyops and just the reality that there are so many different avenues in this whole thing and how things are so staged. There was an active shooter outside of my work yesterday morning. And it was the most bizarre thing I've ever witnessed in my life. It's the most bizarre thing, and how it was handled, how poorly it was handled, how poorly it's been communicated, how the evidence doesn't make sense, the investigation doesn't make sense in reference to my community, my local law enforcement, things that they're pushing out there. It's like, I was there. We were the ones that called. We were the ones that heard the gunshot, multiple gunshots, right? And they got off the phone with us, and never once did any officer come into our building and our business establishment to tell us it was safe. Number one. Number two, nobody came and collected statements from us. No one. Not one single soul came and talked to us. One of my coworkers had to go ask them if it was safe. Right? And just the whole situation made no sense. Absolutely none. Supposedly some dude was on a bike just opening fire, like shooting off rounds. And then he ended up in the dumpster. Then he ended up over here. Then he ended up with missiles. Just the whole thing makes no sense. But by golly bejolly, Okaloosa and fire department, everybody just jumped in, and just all efforts were great. It's like, what the heck, man? And so it was just, and for me and my coworkers, me and my two other coworkers, we were shaken up. The whole thing made like absolutely no sense. And just the lack of accountability, the lack of communication, the lack of decency, the lack of investigation. There's no reason behind what had transpired, why he even did it. They still haven't released that. Not sure that's ever going to even be released. And so it just goes to show you, psyops don't always look like Hollywood. They look like silence, confusion, and mixed messaging. And that's what immediately when it started to transpire, I didn't even know I didn't know it was a gunshot. I thought it was, my mind, I'm in my own little world. I just don't think about things like that, but and thankfully my coworkers were like, oh, that was a gunshot, and so we immediately ran to the back and we went to one of the offices, and we're just like standing there because we heard two different sets of it. And I was like, we need to call the police. So we called the police. And then the police came, and they did all this running, and they did all this stuff right outside of our office. And they had the dogs, they had everything, and he was supposedly in the dumpster. They supposedly found casings. But again, not one single person came into our office to talk to us. Not one. It's the craziest thing. To me, that's just bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Why wouldn't you collect witness statements? Right? Why wouldn't you come and let the businesses around, let them know that it is safe? I'm sorry, we have to collect that from the media? When you're literally standing out front of our office? What? And so I worked at my second job the next, right after, and I was telling my girlfriends, about it, and I was like, we're just in the upside down world right now. It's just straight crazy. Absolutely nuts. And I told him, I said, you know what I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get one of those director signs, and I'm gonna get where it says action. And when I'm in these pre-programs, because when you pick up on patterns, synchronicities, and just the inner knowing, you just know things. And it might not make sense to other people, but it doesn't have to make sense to other people. You know what you know. You feel what you feel. You've been through what you've been through. You see what you see. People can't take that away from you. It's your consciousness. People try to take that away from you and tell you, no, this is what you know, this is what you see, this is what you feel, this is what you hear. And it's like, no, actually, that's not the case. That's not the case at all. And this is what I get so sick of. And so it's like I told them, I was like, I'm going to start carrying around an action sign. And so the next time I'm in a situation like that, I'm going to grab my action sign. I'm going to go right in front and be like, ready, 1, 2, 3, action. Because all these paid actors, all these little bots, all these people that don't make sense, because they're running on the side of injustice. They're running on the side of corruption. They're running on the side of inhumane things, indecent things, being a part of all these underground networks. Like, I think it's comical now that Tucker's unraveling how much whatever is got their hands in Florida, which is where I live. And I think it's comical. And Poppy D's all involved, or Daddy D and Pop. I mean, obviously, that goes without saying. You know? And it's just ridiculous. Like, I've connected so many other dots when it comes to my ex and just the magnitude of what he's done. Like, you should be ashamed of yourself, bro. Seriously. At this point in the venture, you should be ashamed of yourself. You know, that's what I was telling my coworker today as I wrap my head around some of this stuff. I'm just so disheartened and disappointed in people because I can't wrap my head around what would make individuals partake in such heinous activities against an individual. And then I think about Charlie and him being in a Truman Show and all these people in his life to try to control him and sway him, right? I know a little something about that. You can't control me. I can't be handled. It's been a problem for a lot of people. I'm not here to be controlled. I'm not here to be swayed. I'm not here to be told how to feel. I'll tell you that. And if you were in my life at some point, you dang were lucky to. You know, I am not perfect by any means, but I have always been good to people, been kind to people, been loving to people. You know, I did have my addiction, absolutely, but I'd be dang if I let you guys hold that over my head. Please, I'm in sobriety. You guys can just go ahead and sit on that. Sit and spin. Really. Let's talk about your addictions. I can name a few, bros. Seriously, come on now. Y'all are crazy. Crazy. That said, this came to me when I got into an argument with my ChatGPT earlier. This is going to be my only video. This will probably get dinged. All my videos are getting dinged right now. So that's why I'm just kind of laying low on this. I'm really, honestly, my focus right now is staying alive, clearly. Keeping a low radar and honestly just enjoying my life. You know, I do plan on continuing to make my content and I do have plans in the future. But right now my plan is to stay alive, keep my head down, and stay focused on changing my surroundings, okay? Because I do not enjoy living in this crazy ass community at all. And so that said, my discernment is mine. No one can factually take that away. That is so true. My discernment, my intuition, my inner knowing, my pattern recognition and my synchronicity recognition is mine. And it is hard. It is hard to see things. When you pick up on patterns and you pick up on synchronicities, you pick up on people, you kind of have a foresight of seeing what the trajectory of things are going to be. And you don't want to see it. You don't. Because you want to see the best in people. You always want to see the best in people. Even when they show you not the best in them, you still want to see that. Always. Why? Because you carry a Christ conscience. You want that for them. And so it's finding that duality within yourself. But you cannot allow people to make you doubt your own perceptions of things. You can't. You know what you know. You've been through what you've been through. And whether people agree with you or believe you or not, that is not your problem. By any means. That is their problem. That is their perception. The only perceptions you can carry are the perceptions you carry of yourself. And I had to learn that the hard way. The very, very hard way. And so I love you guys.